Okay, guys, this is a quick video that I just wanted to do quickly today in reaction to a video that this guy, his name, I think, he's called Gide Akali, and that's his YouTube name. This guy actually recorded a video in which he talked about his experience being a YouTuber for 6 years here in Africa, and particularly in Kenya. I've noticed in his video some of the things that he actually talked about concerning YouTube monetization and how Ayamara and a collection of YouTubers from his village, I think the village is called Nyabohanse. They're actually making money, and how hard it is to actually get monetized and make money, because there's quite a lot of people who are motivated to actually jump into recording YouTube videos and then posting with the hope of probably maybe being able to achieve what these guys have achieved in Nyabohanse. I wanted to touch base with you guys because I noticed that there is this collective narrative that getting monetized on YouTube is difficult. While I do recognize that it is difficult to get monetized using AdSense, but there's quite a lot of ways I think that you would be able to get your YouTube monetized. Particularly in my case, I've been running a couple of YouTube channels, and I have about 3 successful YouTube channels that are monetized. But one thing that I thought I would do, sort of like just kind of like quickly touch base with you, is necessarily about this idea that the only way to get monetized on YouTube is only if you get paid AdSense. That's where I wanted to sort of like just quickly touch base, because this guy had a lot of nuggets that he was dropping into the video, but most of it, I think, the way how I was looking at it, I think there is this there is this belief that the only way to make money on YouTube is to wait for Google to actually pay you AdSense money. That's not necessarily true. But assuming that that's the only way you think is the only way to monetize your YouTube channel, let's just sort of like work based on that belief, and see what kind of things can you fix to make sure that if it's AdSense monetization that you are going for, what is it that you need to fix so that you can actually make money on YouTube? Because what I'm noticing is that I think most of the people who are making comments on this particular video, they are pointing out at how they've been trying for years and yet they still haven't been monetized, even though some of them who have been monetized, they are not able to sort of like make the kind of money you would actually sort of like replace your 9 to 5, if that was the goal that you had started doing YouTube with. YouTube, if you're going to get monetized on YouTube, there are actually 3 core things that I think you would want to look at, and that is, number 1 is traffic, number 2 is systems, number 3 is the skills. These are the 3 things that you need to fix. It doesn't matter which part of the world, whether you are in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, whichever part of the world you are. And for you to actually sort of like proof this, that is, it's actually possible to get monetized on YouTube and still make money regardless of where you are. The YouTubers of Nyabohanse village, the crew of Ayamara and the Moyigino, and this lady D, these guys are a proof that you can actually get monetized even if you're creating content back in the village. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this quite a lot is the fact that the collective narrative is that the only way to actually make money on YouTube when you get monetized is if you're creating content where you are insulting Ayamara and these other guys that you think they've actually made it. Then there's quite a lot of people who are going online making up stories that are actually hating some of the YouTube creators, like the likes of Ayamara. You don't have to either come on anybody's YouTube, put some comments that are bad, or maybe even record a YouTube video that is tearing down your the other people just simply because they've actually gained traffic from a global audience. You can actually create your own audience, and your YouTubes could easily, I mean, your YouTube videos could easily target people that you actually think you are going to go for. And I think that's where the configuration of your traffic system, who you're targeting, when you're creating pieces of content, who is your target audience that you're actually going for? And that's one thing I think most of you guys who are watching Ayamara and you're seeing that he's doing great and he's able to monetize his YouTube channels and he's making a bit of money, you're missing that because I think what you're doing is you're forgetting that when he started creating YouTube videos, the way how he creates content is by vlogging. And he's been vlogging for quite a little while. And most of the times, this guy, when he's creating pieces of content, he's not creating these pieces of content only when he travels to different parts of the world. And if you don't believe what I'm trying to tell you is, if you go and look at these YouTubers, there are quite a number of YouTubers from Ghana. I'll probably put some of the YouTube links for samples of YouTube channels that you can actually look at, people who are actually creating content, and they are creating pieces of content on Africa. They are monetized and they still earn AdSense money on YouTube. But they are not necessarily insulting people or maybe creating stories that kind of like tearing other people about what they do with their families and all sorts of things. That's one of the things that I think you're missing out when you look at those three cores that I talked about. That's your traffic, your system, and your skills. You need to know and you need to understand that if they go for you to actually jump on YouTube and start creating pieces of content, you have to create value. And the value that you're creating, that's what is going to help you generate the revenue that you want. There is this saying that says money follows value. If you're not delivering value to your audience, don't expect to make money. And I can see from when I saw this video, I watched this video a little bit, and then I thought, this is interesting. This guy is saying he's been on YouTube for 6 years, and he still is struggling. And the only thing that's keeping him on YouTube is simply because he makes these videos because it's a hobby for him. And he's happy to do it. He's not complaining that he's not making money, but he's just trying to help you so you don't waste your time. And I can see that some of you guys who have been commenting on this video, you're getting discouraged. Probably you've been creating pieces of content and you are seeing that the money is not coming. The reason why the money is not coming is simply because there isn't value that you're creating out of the videos that you're creating. I'll give you an example. I've lived and worked in UK for almost 24 years. And I came back here in Malawi, I bought this piece of land where I'm working, okay? For most of you guys, if you came and met me here, you can see this whole piece of land. There is about 89 acres that I'm working on here at the moment. You would think that I am a farmer, but that's not really the whole story. Behind those 3 YouTube channels that I've told you that are monetized and are making money for me, they are actually businesses that are aligned to each and every YouTube channel. I am a private equity manager, and part of what I do that actually brings money into the business that I run is what has enabled me to actually come and start working on this piece of land, growing crops, buying crops from farmers who are growing crops on my pieces of land. This is what is commonly known as commodity trading. It's not like it's a secret. Uh, 2 months ago, crops that we were buying $1 or a pound when they were just harvested, they are now almost 4 pounds to 6 pounds per kilo. Now, if that is the case, if we bought maybe 10 tons of whatever crops, whether it's groundnuts, coffee, um, whether it's beans, the very same kilogram that we were paying for a pound or $1, we are now, right now, is actually being sold for probably between 3 pounds to 6 pounds a kilo. That's how this business, being run by a business that is in private equity management, actually makes money. But I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, all right? You've got to know what you're doing, how, and understand the business that you are into, so you can actually go and do this. But you guys, you have no idea. There's quite a lot of value that is sitting idle in this continent. And the reason why I actually came back here is simply because I teamed up with my friends. Those friends that I teamed up with, they're the ones who are helping me to propel this. Okay? So I gave up a comfortable life in the UK, left my family there. My property is there. My entire life is there. I left everything that I knew for the past 24 years. I came and started working on this piece of land, building relationships in the community, buying products from these guys, adding value, and then shipping them back to where? Back to Europe. Okay? That's how you guys, it doesn't matter which part of the continent you are. If you want to make money, don't sit around and wait for YouTube to monetize you using AdSense. There's quite a lot of things that you could be doing and making a bit of money. And YouTube AdSense is just going to be an additional revenue that comes. Even if it doesn't come, you'll still be okay. So I'm noticing that most of you guys are really fixed on the idea that the only way to make money on YouTube is if YouTube is going to pay you AdSense. Okay, if that's the case, then why are you not creating pieces of content that's talking about the best places that people who are actually looking for places to go and holiday, to go and stay, go and talk about those on your YouTube channels? Because if you're creating your pieces of content when you niche down to travel alone, you would be able to make money. It's not like you're going to have to wait for somebody to give you a brand deal that you actually go and record an advert for them that you're going to make money. No. Once you start creating those pieces of content, Google actually indexes YouTube videos as a search result on Google. And it doesn't matter whether that person is in Canada, in America, in Africa, whichever part of the world they are. Once they see you recorded a YouTube video, about places they are curious to visit. They will click that in the in the search results and see. If you don't believe me, go go on YouTube, go and search about this place that Ayamara shot a video recently. I think it's called Dia in Kenya. There's this region. It's called Dia. I think it's by the sea. He recorded this vlog like today. The following morning, it was already indexed on Google results. That's how people are finding Ayamara's videos, and they are able to watch. And if they are in America, if they are in Australia, in Canada, they are targeted by advertisers. They advertise on those videos. When they advertise on those videos, they get paid for that. That's what you're missing out, you guys. One thing that I just forgot to mention in the video is the fact that I did go on Gide Akali's YouTube channel to actually go and see what kind of content is he creating. And when I looked at his YouTube channel, I noticed that this guy's YouTube channel has got a lot of pieces of content that he's been creating over the past 6-7 years. And one thing that I noticed is the fact that his YouTube channel is actually not niched in any way. Today he would wake up and talk about getting monetized on YouTube. Tomorrow he will talk about relationships. The other day he will talk about divorce, and it's a sort of like a mixed bag of pieces of content that he's creating. There's a problem here. If you want to create pieces of content and get monetized, you need to create an audience. And this is very, very deliberate. This is why I was saying to you guys that if you're going to get monetized on YouTube using AdSense, the only way you're going to make money with that system, you need to get the 3 core things in place. You need to get them right. Traffic, the system itself that will actually run behind your YouTube channel and make money, and then the skills. What kind of skills are you going to use that are going to actually help you make money? Because if advertisers are going to come and advertise on your YouTube channel, they are going to come and advertise based on what kind of content you're creating. Now, here's a problem. If there's a Kenyan celebrity who is getting divorced, or whichever part of the continent you come from, if that person is a local guy and you create a piece of content that is targeting that guy who is very well known, probably, let's say in Kenya, is very well known. The companies in UK, in Canada, in Australia, in America, they don't know who that guy is. They don't have a good reason to actually go and advertise on that piece of content. The only way they would be able to do that is if somebody who comes from Kenya, who knows, and he's looking for information, he's looking for videos that actually he can sort of like catch up with what's going on back home. But they live in Canada. All right? Probably maybe that's why most of you guys, you notice that people are actually targeting Ayamara and creating videos that are actually predominantly talking about them. And I also noticed that one of the pieces of advice that this guy was talking about, he was saying, if you guys want to get monetized using AdSense on YouTube, just go and keep on talking about Ayamara, then you're going to get monetized. That's misleading. The reason why you would get a little bit of an exposure when you mention Ayamara in your videos is simply because this guy, like Gide Akali, actually mentioned that he is an institution. He has built a huge audience for himself, and most of them, they are in diaspora. So when they are searching for pieces of content, the algorithm actually saves the videos based on the interest and their keywords. So the keyword itself, Ayamara, has actually become a keyword that is constantly searched on YouTube. And because of that, some of the people who are in diaspora, when they are watching these videos, they do get targeted. But it's very, very easy for you to stay. It doesn't matter whichever part of the world, whether you are here in Africa or in Asia, you create pieces of content that are deliberate and targeting the US or the UK or Canadian audience. They don't have to be Kenyan, they don't have to be Malawian or Ugandan, or whichever part of the world that you come from. You just have to be intentional, and you just have to create those pieces of content that are actually talking specifically keywords that are global keywords. They are not geographical. I am a private wealth manager. I manage private equity. What is happening here behind me, you can see this piece of land that I'm standing on, we've got 89 acres on it. On the other farm, we've got 300 acres, and another farm, we've got 200 acres. On those pieces of land, we are growing different types of crops. But this is part of investment, part of retirement planning, part of commodity trading. So I can talk about commodity pricing, movement of goods. I can talk about investment. I can talk about retirement. I can talk about a lot of things that I think they're happening here in Africa. They're happening in UK. They're happening in Canada. They're happening in America. That's what makes some of my YouTubes discoverable by people who have never been to Africa, have never visited this continent, or even thought about it. But simply because I'm talking about those subjects, then I get targeted by advertisers, and those pieces of content, they actually get discovered. Some of the ways that you would be able to monetize your YouTube channel, even if AdSense is not in the picture, you can do affiliate marketing. You don't have to be in America to actually do a video review about the video, the tripod stand of your videos that you're shooting. If it's a camera, if it's editing software, or whatever pieces of, whether it's AI, whatever, there are a lot of affiliate opportunities that you can actually leverage and still make money. One of the best places where they produce coffee that you can't find in Europe. If you go to Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's, the type of coffee that is sold there, that we actually go and buy there for a lot of money, is exported from Kenya and packaged in European factories. But they actually write there that this is Kenyan coffee. Why are you not teaming up with people who are producing coffee in Kenya, in the very same villages like Nyabohanse? Package it and call it handcrafted coffee by you and the people in your village, and then ship. You will be surprised. What people are looking for experiences. And let me tell you, before you know it, these guys, these YouTubers who are coming from Nyabohanse village, they will start selling Airbnb accommodation in their villages, and people who come from Europe, they are coming to stay in those villages. It doesn't have to be a very well polished house. It could be a mud house, but you furnish it very well. People are tired of living in the city. They want to experience and eat ugali in the village. Cook some pumpkin vegetables for them. They've been eating chickens and whatever type of meats, and they're tired of doing that. They want to experience your food and enjoy that. That's why this type of investment that I'm running here is not the kind of this is not a traditional investment. There are a lot of this. I'm going to do a special video talking about the investments that investment opportunities that we have here in Africa, and how I'm doing what I'm doing here, so that probably maybe you guys can actually you get to see the behind the scenes, because maybe you need to see what I see and what other people are seeing. 60% of arable land in the whole world is here in Africa. 60% of arable land that you can actually grow crops, is here in Africa. Okay? And you guys, you're complaining that we can't make money here. The only way for you to make money when you start a YouTube channel is if you are in America or you are in UK. Come on, man. That's not true. There are a lot of opportunities, untapped opportunities that are on this continent. You just have to sort of like probably maybe have somebody help you see what opportunities there are. I'll also give you another Kenyan who is doing amazing stuff. I think his name is Stan Agacho. This guy, he is all over the place on the internet, on YouTube. And he makes his money. If you go and watch his videos, he's talking about investment, whether is he investing in crypto, real estate, a lot of stuff that he's talking about. And how do you think he's making his money? This guy, I think, is creating, he has a community, I think it's called 1 million something. In his community, he is the authority. He is the go-to guy. People go and ask him questions about, is this investment better for me? Can I do this? Can I do that? And he's teaching a lot of his strategies, okay? You guys, you are experts in your own right. That's why I'm saying traffic source, the system behind your YouTube channel, and the skills that you're bringing to the table. That's what is going to create value. The skills are going to create value. The traffic is going to come in and find that you're delivering value, like Stan Agacho is delivering to his audience. I've watched some of his videos. He's actually a brilliant guy. He's very smart, he's articulate, and he knows what he's talking about. He talks about real estate and all sorts of things. Don't forget that this 89-acre piece of land is a real estate piece. Okay? This is a real estate piece of land. There is no building on it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there is no value in here. Okay? You don't have to talk about real estate as in a house where somebody is going to sleep in. No. You can talk about a real estate in a form of farming. You can talk about opportunities. Look, guys, there's this American girl. She's a musician. She's called Keris. She just bought a huge piece of land in Kenya. How did she end up there? There's a lot of people who are actually coming from Europe, from America, to come and look and to come and buy pieces of land here in Africa. Why do you think that is happening? You guys, you're so busy trying to get on the boats to go to Europe or to go to America, hoping that that's where the opportunities are, leaving the actual opportunity back home here. That's what is happening.